Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky and the Twab has just come out, so let's go ahead and review this together and figure out what's going on this week at Bungie. Alright, this week at Bungie we're consuming stacks of light. Within Destiny 2, the exodus of Io, Titan, Mercury, and Mars continues. Zavala has tasked you with spreading the word of impending darkness and keeping our beloved vendors up to speed. There are still a few more loose ends to tie up on these destinations, so get to it. Along your quest, you'll have some final chances to earn unique loot and fill out your locations before access to various strikes is impeded by the darkness. Destiny 2, the sidearm trailer, I haven't. Let's go ahead and watch this. Let's go watch this together. Watch a little snippet of it.
So this is how it ends. The day we've been dreading has finally arrived.
Just before the darkness, we get a sidearm. I'm not gonna lie, sidearms look so unintimidating when you're holding them compared to other guns.
I need you on the front lines. Close our ranks, Guardian, and form a fist.
You're not killing Brachion with the freaking sidearm. And you just got absolutely ogre smashed. Let's be honest, there's no way you killed that ogre with 3 sidearm shots.
To the Guardians to protect.
You know that Warlock got destroyed.
All we have left is our faith. Faith in the Traveler. Faith in the light. Faith in you.
Faith and light? Fuck that shit, Zavala. I am straight yeeting over to the darkness team the instant they show up. While the Traveler may have chosen you, it's almost time to go beyond the light. Don't forget where you came from, though, as we're celebrating Destiny's almost 7th birthday this week, their 6th birthday. Yeah, we know it's been 6 years, but 7 is darker. Really cool art here. If you haven't snagged the sweet wallpapers or seen our Stasis deep dives, head over to our fresh blog article covering the fun. While we're celebrating the past, we're also getting ready for the future. So if you click on this little link here, it's got a little article here, and they're talking about some of these Destiny cookbook meals and stuff. I would make some of that stuff, but I have no culinary skills at all, and I would easily ruin everything, and it would taste awful. Wield the darkness, Stasis, a mysterious new power. Stasis is an element born of darkness. In its base form, it is an alluring, lethal cosmic energy that, when wielded correctly, can attach itself to surfaces, objects, and beings. Due to its freezing nature, because it's ice, this process manifests itself in the formation of cold crystalline structures that leave a patterned stasis footprint behind. Power takes a new form, Stasis Crystal. Stasis, in its solid form, a violent and unstable block of crystal, forms when focused stasis energy connects with matter in the environment, freezes nearby enemies when it takes shape, rendering them immobile, highly unstable, shatters on impact, creating a stasis explosion of sharp, jagged crystals. If left unchecked, crystals will be dissolved over time. Stasis Field, unfocused stasis energy that forms a sphere of influence teeming with dark elemental power, slowing enemies that enter the field. Stasis energy attaches to the being, eventually encasing them in stasis crystals, rendering them immobile. So we've got slow, freeze, and shatter. Greatly reduce enemy movement speed, weapon handling and accuracy, and ability energy regeneration. Weapon accuracy going down, that's going to be so frustrating. Freeze. Freeze to immobilize foes in solid stasis crystals. The effects wear off slowly over time, but if affected players are willing to take some damage in the process, they can break out early by shattering the crystals around them. Interesting. So you can break out, but it hurts you. All right. Shatter. Obliterate those who seek to destroy you. With enough direct damage, frozen enemies with stasis crystalline will shatter, creating a devastating stasis shrapnel explosion, damaging those nearby. Wow. Okay. That sounds all really interesting. Whether you're a veteran of Destiny or have just been rezzed in the Cosmodrome, thank you for playing, and thank you for being a part of our community. Suit up! A few Twabs ago, Luke Smith took some time to run through changes to our philosophy in doling out rewards through the various activities of Destiny 2. Hit the article again if you'd like a refresher on vanity, cosmetics, and more. Today we'll be focusing on core playlist rewards, Strike, Gambit, and Crucible. To quote the article, here's what you can expect on November 10th. We are adding a new set of armor for the core playlist, Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible. I love this. This armor shares a set of new geometry with decals and shaders specific to the activity. We will create new sets like this each year. Year 4, Year 5, Year 6. This is awesome. I love this. This set will arrive alongside the next expansion. Ooh! That Crucible armor looks great. Gambit armor looks pretty sexy. Dang. Even the Vanguard armor looks pretty nice. But damn, that Crucible armor though. That looks nice. That looks real nice. This armor can be earned by completing activities or through vendor rank ups. Weekly challenges are also being updated to offer avenues for players to earn higher stat packages for these armor sets. Additionally, Year 4 will see the return of Pursuit weapons. For those of you who may have joined our community in the last season or two, these weapons have static perks but allow for some customization. The final 2 perk columns have multiple perks to choose from, so you can tailor your weapons to your desired playlist. Our eagle-eyed guardians may recognize this beauty from a recent Stasis trailer. Ooh, interesting. That's the sniper that we saw there. Our goal is to have a pursuit weapon available per season. Earned through a focused quest, Banshee will give you a choice between Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit to earn the base model. Make sure you take a moment to think about how you want to earn the weapon, as you'll be locked into specific objectives for whichever activity you pick. Once you finish the main quest, Commanders of all, Lord Strax, and the Drifter will offer you an additional quest, which will reward you with a weapon ornaments to the theme of their respective activities. If you're omnivorous and enjoy all 3 offerings, all 3 will be available to you. Interesting. So this is Vanguard, and it would have Vanguard specific perks, like a strike specific perks. That would be crazy. And Crucible might have like, it could have, I could see this having like something like Snapshot, Opening Shot, and obviously you have Vanguard one, so this would be really interesting. Gambit would have its own specific one that would be good for either invasion or clearing ads perhaps. Really interesting stuff. So now that we've caught your eye with some fancy armor and a new sniper, let's take a quick look at how things are changing for core activities as you launch into your new adventures on November 10th. Strike, Gambit, and Crucible playlists are being streamlined. I like this a lot because I've looked at the Crucible Director for a long time now and I see all these different playlists and there's just so many. I just feel like it's spreading the community thin. We really should just have the core playlists, the things that people want to play, the things that are interesting, and do away with some of these weird playlists that people almost never spend time playing. Starting in Season 12, the Director will be updated to reduce the number of playlists available at a given time. Featured modes: Control, Elimination, Rumble, Survival. Both Survival and Survival Freelance will be available. Weekly Rotator, Clash, Mayhem, and Showdown. Private matches, limited availability, Iron Banner Freelance, will debut on September 12th. Interesting. Weekend availability will have Trials of Osiris. Adept weapons rewarded to those reaching the Lighthouse. Return to Trials of Osiris in Season 12. Oh, that is amazing. Adept weapons, that is going to be super sick. I cannot wait to get some Adept Trials weapons. Really, really excited for that. Oh my goodness. The Director, oh my gosh, look at the Director right now. This looks so much more streamlined and so much more simple. I actually love this. I know that it looks like we're losing out on stuff, but we're not really losing out on stuff. We're taking all the players and all the blueberries that are randomly spread into all these weird playlists, and we're condensing them into the proper playlist, so that way we're all together and we can queue up and find matches fast. So much better. Strikes. Vanguard, Strikes, and Nightfall. The Ordeal will be your 2 playlist options. Each playlist will continue to offer weekly challenges for powerful loot. Nightfall, The Ordeal will continue to feature matchmaking at lower difficulties and increase rewards for higher difficulty options. Note, we're also looking to add Adept weapons to Strikes. In a future season, we'll have updates closer to Season 13 on what to expect. That would be super sick to have Adept Vanguard weapons for Strikes. That would be really, really cool. I'd love to see that. Gambit. Now this is going to be a really interesting part because they're going to unify Gambit, Gambit Prime, and I've been wanting to know for a while now, what are the rules of this new Gambit format? Are they actually going to make the changes that are going to make Gambit interesting for someone like me? Because I'm not the biggest fan of Gambit, but I'm also not a big hater of Gambit. I do see it has some merits, it has some redeemable qualities, but I just personally don't play it that often. I'm really excited to see what this new Gambit will offer though, so here we go. As covered last week, Gambit and Gambit Prime will be consolidated into a single mode. We have some additional details on specific rule changes, as well as development notes from the team on how things are changing and the goals behind them. Hi Gambiteers, we wanted to give you an explanation of rules changes coming to Gambit in November, as well as a key update from last week. First, some goals we wrote down before we started. Build a more approachable Gambit Prime, keeping the 1-round format, yes, with a longer round, but without the Gambit Prime armor perks. I like that a lot already. 1 round is definitely the best in my opinion, and the perks get a little bit too crazy. Rebalance the moats phase to last 2/3 of each match rather than half of the match. Speed up the Primeval fight, yes, compared to Gambit Prime, to give more of the feeling of a boss rush. I like this already. We started with the Gambit Prime encounters full stop, however, without the Reaper buffs, the large bosses that come in enemy waves were too tanky, so we pulled them all down to mini boss or elite. The pacing should feel like how Gambit feels for a pickup group or how Prime feels for a fully kitted team. We also playtested the having the moats phase target a score of 150 and or have a heavier moat drain, but this allowed organized teams to steamroll even more effectively, not less, so we pulled back the current Gambit Prime moat target and drain. We started with the Gambit Prime blockers, but pulled the Taken Captain from the blocker lineup as he proved a little too potent for a 10 moat blocker. We replaced him with the Phalanx, who can be a tough kill, but not as lethal. Since we don't have the armor perks, we also had to remove the 20 moat giant blocker. We kept the invasions during moat phases at 3, just like Gambit Prime, but pulled back the minimum time between evasions during moat phases from 10 seconds to 20 seconds. It never feels good to get invaded back to back. I like that a lot, actually, because sometimes you could invade, come back, and then you'd be immediately able to invade again, and so people are just like leaving their spawn and they're just getting destroyed, even though that was never really the most strategic time to do it because people don't have any moats to drop. It still was just really annoying just coming out of your spawn, getting shot by truth rockets or sniped, and then coming out of your spawn again, getting sniped again. It was just, that was definitely lame. I'd like that there's a better cooldown for invasions. For the boss fight, we started with Gambit Primeval fight, removed the timed Slayer buffs, increased the Primeval health and potency of the Slayer buff given by when killing envoys. We respawn the envoys every 40% damage done to the Primeval, so if you get invaded and the Primeval is healed a lot, you have the opportunity to get more Slayer buffs and catch up. The fight length ends up somewhere in between the original Gambit and Gambit Prime, so we adjusted the invasion timer during the Primeval phase to match, right in between Gambit and Gambit Prime timing. Interesting. So overall, this mode will be a little bit quicker than Gambit Prime, mostly due to the shortening of the boss phase and the removal of the larger bosses from the fronts, but one that still gives that great Gambit feeling that you all love. Very interesting stuff. I don't entirely understand all of this because I don't play a ton of Gambit, but basically I'll just jump into some Gambit when it comes back out and see how I feel about it. We see you're hungry for info and we're excited to bring the heat. As we approach Beyond Light, we'll have more details on how your weekly rituals are changing, economy, Eververse Sandbox, and more. We're looking forward to talking about things like solo queue Iron Banner, but we have a few things left to tie up as we approach launch. Stay tuned. And the next part is just triumph trackers where certain triumphs and seals will become unavailable soon, so you can use some of these websites to make a checklist of things that you want to get done before November, which if you're new to the game or you're newish to the game, or even if you've been playing the game for a while, if you want to get certain titles that are going away that will become exclusive, definitely use one of these sites. And the last area is basically just going over some bugs that are in the game. Honestly, overall though, this is all really exciting stuff. I'm super excited to see how Darkness plays both in Crucible and in PvE. I cannot wait to get my hands on this Crucible armor set. Obviously, I'll still get the other armor sets too because I'm a collector and I want to have it all, but that Crucible armor set looks really, really good and I can't wait to get that. And these pursuit weapons look really, really interesting. I mean, if you look at this graphic, this looks like an actual Beloved with a cloth wrapped around it. So I'm wondering exactly what perks these weapons are going to have on them and how much different this is going to be from the Beloved, or is this just a Beloved remake? Because that literally looks exactly like a Beloved. I genuinely think that streamlining the playlists and the game is really, really good, but it does have a little bit of that feeling of regression where you feel like, is Destiny kind of dying? Like, why are the playlists getting smaller and subsidizing? Which can definitely be scary and feel scary, but I don't entirely get that feeling. And what I would like to hope for, and not to be too optimistic, is that by subsidizing these playlists, hopefully they can put more effort into areas of the game that we want the effort to go into. Because now without some of these bizarre weekly playlists that really no one was even playing, and some of the other stuff like Gambit that a lot of people are not playing, maybe they can put some more time and attention into things that we really want. Fingers crossed, but at the end of the day, Destiny is Destiny. I'm still going to play the game pretty consistently, and if I get too burnt out on it, I'm just going to play other games, just like everyone else should. And there you have it. That's the Twab for this week. Make sure to subscribe if you want more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.